Welcome to the premiere edition of Athletic Training News. My name is Diane. Happy to have all of you here for our first show. We will be speaking to Coach Mike Holcomb of Hawkeye Sports Vision Training. Coach Holcomb is out of South Alabama, so we may have a little delay on our phone lines here today. Hey Coach Holcomb, how are you doing?
Good evening, Diane, and it's great to be here.
What is Sports Vision Training?
Sports Vision Training is a program designed to strengthen the 6 outer ocular muscles and 2 inner ocular muscles of the eyes. It accomplishes this while working on areas of focusing, concentration, peripheral vision, muscular endurance or stamina, reaction, and visual memory. It does not help you to see better. If you need glasses before, you still need glasses. But your eyes learn to work more efficiently, and the eye-brain connection is strengthened and made more efficient. Many people question me why there's a need for vision training, and I respond with this example. Have you ever driven 3 to 4 hours, and when you get through you're tired? Why? Well, all you've done is sit, and you might have used your arms a little bit. The reason you're tired is your eyes and brain have been working the entire time without rest. Translate this to a baseball game. The weather is usually hot, sometimes it is dusty. The sun and glare can be awful. You go through long periods where you have to be alert and be focused, and when you're at the plate batting, you're engaged in extreme focusing and concentration. At the end of the game, you're tired, but how much running have you really done? How much lifting or throwing have you done? The amount of physical exertion does not match the level of fatigue that most players feel after a game.
Coach Holcomb, can you tell us how you got involved in vision training?
I first learned the vision training when I was coaching in a small town in South Alabama. A local optometrist had gotten a board with lights on it that you had to touch. The lights, as it flashed around different places on the board, I later learned this is called an interactive light board. The problem was this doctor wanted to charge $50 per session, which none of our players could afford. It did get me to thinking, though, about the possibility of vision training. A few years later, I coached a young man that was a tremendous athlete. He had speed, quickness, agility. He had it all, but he just could not seem to make the play. He played quarterback, but never could find a wide-open receiver, even when he was right in front of him. At other times, when he was running the ball, he'd miss the running lane or run right into the defender. We got his eyes checked, and he had 20/20 vision, but was not seeing what was going on. This is when I really started looking into vision training. The problem was everything that I found cost way too much, $200 to $2,000, and was not close enough for our athletes to access, anywhere from 4 hours away to across country. That was the start of my quest to get vision training for my players. I continued to read and study everything I could find. I found all these expensive devices and considered building the device itself. I also considered writing the computer software to duplicate these exercises. Both of these methods proved to be too expensive and a lot of trouble. My solution was to put the very same exercises on video so that all my players could use it. From videotape, I moved to DVD for better picture quality and ease of duplication. My players found it to be so beneficial, I realized I could make it available to other athletes.
Who uses vision training?
A simple peek at the research indicates that athletes in all areas benefit from vision training. The Sports Science Research Laboratory of Texas A&M Corpus Christi found a significant positive relationship between visual skills and tennis performance of NCAA Division I tennis players. And subsequently, they say coaches may consider using visual skill programs to assess and train tennis athletes. Another study that was done of NCAA Division I baseball players indicated that those that received visual skills training produced a significantly higher batted ball velocity than those that did not receive visual skill training. The United States Air Force Academy's Human Performance Lab, the best source of information on vision training, has had some remarkable results. They've done studies over a 10-year period with about 1,000 individuals and have found that vision training has produced some significant improvements and that they are long-term improvements. The Air Force Academy Not only does use this program with athletes, but with pilots. Every year they have some pilot candidates that do not qualify because of vision deficiencies that become qualified after undergoing their vision training. By the way, the Air Force Academy's baseball team led the nation in slugging percentage the first year after vision training was introduced. As for Hawkeye Sports Vision program, the majority of the participants have been softball and baseball players, but I've had several football players and tennis players use the Hawkeye program. I've also had a lot of interest from hockey goalkeepers, and recently skeet shooters have started taking advantage of the Hawkeye program.
What kind of equipment would someone need?
The only equipment needed is a TV and a DVD player. As your eyes develop, you might want to add in wobble boards or balance beams to help stimulate the brain-eye connection. Compare this, though, to other programs that are available. Many of them you need special equipment that could cost several $1,000s, or you'll have to travel to get to their office, or spend $200 or more for computer software that will only allow a set number of sessions. With Hawkeye, you can use the DVD over and over with no limit on how many times it can be used. For that matter, the whole family can use one DVD over and over.
Well, tell me, what makes Hawkeye different from your competitors?
As I just said, Hawkeye does not require expensive equipment or software. I designed it to be used and to be affordable and usable by every athlete, not just the elite athletes that have money or resources. It does not have all the bells and whistles like a $2,000 program, but it's the results that count. It can also be used by teams or large groups in one session. I've used a projector and had 20 or more players in the room using Hawkeye at one time. I've also used a large TV with a smaller group of 8 where all could see and hear.
Coach Holcomb, what does Hawkeye cost to use?
The Hawkeye Sports Vision DVD only costs $24.95 plus $3 for shipping and handling. This gets you a DVD which can be used for an unlimited number of times. Each DVD has 7 levels, each of increasing difficulty and more complex exercises. And it's available at www.hawkeyesportsvision.com.
I understand you have had some success with Hawkeye. Can you tell us about it?
The success which I have had using the Hawkeye program has been very good. The first team which I used it with was a football team which had not had very much success over several years. My quarterback, though, ended up throwing that year for over 2,400 yards and only had 4 interceptions. Several members of the baseball team used Hawkeye and had some very good batting averages after using it. They ranged from 400 all the way up to 750. The baseball coach's young son used the Hawkeye program on a modified basis and hit several home runs in his division, which impressed our coach as well. From individuals that have purchased the Hawkeye program, I've heard good things. Most notably was that one young lady playing softball that had never hit a home run. 3 weeks after using the Hawkeye program on a consistent basis, she hit 3 home runs in a 1-week span. Do notice I did say that she used it on a consistent basis. Like any other strength program, you have to use Hawkeye every day. And only use it once per day because you do not want to overwork or strain the eyes. If you just take the Hawkeye, watch it once, twice, and then put it down, that's not going to help you. You got to, like I said just a moment ago, consistently use it over a period of time to develop those ocular muscles and the eye-brain connection.
How long did it take you to make Hawkeye?
From the time I got the idea and started experimenting with different techniques, it took me a little over 3 years to put it together with the first version that I was able to come up with.
Interesting. What are some of the exercises that are part of the Hawkeye program?
Exercises with the Hawkeye program work on tracking, where we start off with an object. I tried to pick some sports objects, footballs, baseballs, basketballs, tennis balls, and track them as they move around the screen on some preset patterns. And we change the patterns up as we go along. And as you progress from level to level, the speed with which they move increases as well. We work on peripheral vision, where we focus at the center of a ever-growing circle or square and focus on the center, but see the edges of that square or circle as it increases in size. We focus on concentration in several areas. One, where we simulate one of the rotator boards. Numbers and letters are spinning around and you have to follow and track it. And then as it gets more progressive, we flash across the screen, and then you have to reacquire your number or letter as it rotates around. And in the program, you'll notice we use red and blue quite a lot. When the eye sees red, certain muscles contract. When it sees blue, those certain muscles relax. And that actually gives those muscles an additional workout. We work on visual memory by flashing pictures, usually sports scenes, up, and in this scene we have numbers placed at different places, and from level to level the numbers change and the duration that the picture's up there decreases. And by the time you get to level 7, it is a real challenge because we